Welcome to Cory's Stories. Are you ready to meditate with Cory?
Hello, my little friends. I just wanted to take a quick minute before your meditation story to say hi and thank you, and I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for listening to my stories. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and like your meditation or your video if you liked it, and make sure to press the bell so that you get notified every time I bring out a new story. One last thing. If you love Heidi, Cherry and VAYA or Tucker and Leo stories, you can join the cat club or the dog club. Go to my Patreon link down below. I leave it there on every meditation. Talk to your parents or your guardians about whether you can join my Patreon group. Hope you have a wonderful time listening to my story. Bye. See you next time.
Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Make sure that you're all snuggly and warm in your bed so that you can relax your body and let go of your day. Jack was in the bathtub trying to relax. It was Saturday. Sunday was Halloween. So it was the day before Halloween for Jack, and he was super excited. He was going to go as a pirate this year. He'd been making his outfit with his mum for a couple of weeks. He was very excited about the way he was going to look, how he was going to talk as a pirate when he said trick or treat, the way he would say thank you, all of that stuff. He decided he was going to paint using his magical paints. If you didn't know already, Jack had magical paints. He used them while he was in the bathtub. He was a really good artist. He painted different things on the side of his bathtub. And normally, because his paints were magic, whatever he painted would come to life for just a few moments, and then it would all fall down into the bathtub and make crazy colours in the water. Except for this one time where he painted something and it lasted quite a long time. The first thing he was going to paint today was a pumpkin. He dipped his paintbrush into the orange paint and started to make a big, giant pumpkin. The whole side of his wall was plastic because the bath was surrounded by plastic walls because of the shower. Jack always painted his pictures on the biggest wall. His pumpkin was enormous, bigger than a pumpkin you would be able to carry in real life. Maybe a really strong, tall guy could carry it, or a super buff, muscly mum could carry it. But there was no way Jack could carry it. It was so big. He drew teeth and eyes. It was a really good pumpkin. He'd drawn the pumpkin, painted the pumpkin, as if it was carved. And then he had a great idea that he would paint some of the inside of the pumpkin coming out of the pumpkin's mouth, as if it was like its guts spilling out all over the place. Very gruesome and gory looking, but he liked it. And then, just like always, the pumpkin, the giant pumpkin, seemed to magically come alive and come off the side of the wall and hover right there in front of him. The guts in the pumpkin spilled out. The seeds and all the sticky bits that were inside of a pumpkin were spilling out of the carved mouth of the pumpkin, and its eyes looked all angry because he'd done eyebrows on it that were pointed and pointed down in the middle together like an angry face. For a moment, Jack was a bit like, ooh, gosh. But he knew any second that the pumpkin would just fall into the bathtub. And that's exactly what it did, with a big old splash. A lot of the water came out over the sides, and he quickly grabbed his towel so his mum wouldn't shout at him for splashing too much. He threw the towel on the floor and stuck one of his feet out to mop it up, moving the towel around. And then he thought about what he was going to paint next. By now, the water in the bathtub was black and orange, and it looked pretty gross because those two colours mixed together just looked like dirty water. He didn't mind. He decided to paint a blackish-greyish, big, scary rat. He was very into the Halloween theme since it was going to be Halloween tomorrow. So anything Halloweeny would work. He painted the rat. He gave it big, scary teeth and lots of whiskers. And it had tiny little yellow eyes, as if it was like a monster rat. He imagined that the eyes would glow in the dark. And then he had a great idea. He painted a big black cat behind it. And the cat started to chase the mouse, and the mouse started to run across the walls on the bathtub. And the cat chased really fast. And then as the rat and the cat became more animated and more 3D and lifted further off the wall and became more real, the rat jumped off the bathtub and ran across the bathroom over white tiles, and the cat jumped and chased him over the white tiles as grey footprints and black footprints became very, very messy all over the bathroom floor. He stood there with his mouth open. Oh, no! And then all of a sudden, the magic ran out, and a big plop and puddle of black and grey paint landed there in the middle of his mum's bedroom. Jack quickly scurried out of the bathtub, grabbed hold of the wet towel and started to shuffle across the bathroom, cleaning up the footprints as he went. But then when he got to the bedroom and he looked on the floor, it looked like a crime scene. It looked like the muddiest, fattest pig in the entire world with dirty feet had run through his mum's bedroom. He gulped. Oh, gosh. He got down on the floor and started rubbing the towel, but the more he rubbed the towel, the more the dirty paint rubbed into the wooden floor. Luckily, it was a wooden floor, but still this was not getting clean that easy. Because he was wet from the tub, he was leaving a big old puddle, and then the puddle started to mix in with the black-grey paint, and then the black-grey paint blended into the big puddle that he'd made, and then it was spreading even further, and the more it spreaded, the closer it got to his mum's rug. Ah! He was thinking. He was frantically rubbing the towel all over the floor, and eventually he managed to clean it all up. What was he going to do with the pink towel that he just ruined? He decided to put it in the bottom of his mum's washing basket. He'll deal with it in a bit. He got back in the bathtub to wash himself off. His knees were black. All the bottoms of his legs were black. His feet were black. His hands were black, all the way up to the elbows. He was covered in black and grey paint. He washed it all off in the brown, muddy-looking water, washed off his magical paintbrush, and decided to finish with a ghost, a spectacular ghost. "Ooh," he said out loud as he painted the ghost pink because he didn't have any white left. The ghost was on one wall and went all the way to the other side of the wall. It was a very big, bright pink ghost. Jack kept making the spooky sounds. Ooh! The moment the ghost decided to come to life, it seemed to hover above him in the bathroom. The lights in the bathroom flickered right at the exact moment, which made Jack shudder. Oh, I think I painted the ghost too big. And then the ghost whooled and howled at him and said, "I don't like the colour pink. I'm supposed to be white, you cheeky child." And then, luckily for Jack, the pink paint fell out of midair and landed in the tub and mixed with the orangey browny water. Phew, Jack said to himself. That was pretty close. He needed to remember to tell his grandma to get him some more white paint, please. That was a close encounter with a ghost that didn't like to be pink. And then he realised that that was the first time one of his paintings had ever spoken to him. How cool! His magical paints seemed to be advancing and getting more magical all the time. Jack got out of the tub, dried off, put his pyjamas on, and decided to go and inspect how bad the pink towel was. It was really bad. Not keeping secrets from his mum, he shouted his mum and said, "Mum, I need to show you something. I had a paint disaster." His mum said, "Oh, how am I going to get that out of my pink towel?" She instantly took the towel to the laundry room to try and figure out how she would save one of her favourite pink towels. Luckily, she wasn't too mad at Jack. Jack cleaned the rest of the bathroom up, made sure that his mum's bedroom floor was all nice and clean, and then went in his bedroom to plan more about what he was going to do for Halloween tomorrow. He was going to go with his friend Billy, and maybe Adam was going to go as well. He wasn't sure yet. Adam was supposed to be dressing up like a T-Rex with tiny little arms. And Billy was going to be a giant tomato, which Jack thought was really funny. He laid out his outfit that he was going to wear tomorrow for Halloween. He had an eye patch, he had some stripy pants, and a white shirt with a ruffly bit that tied around his neck, like a pirate would wear. His mum had found a stuffed parrot in a thrift store. The parrot had been the inspiration for the outfit. It was a little bit of an old, smelly-looking parrot. Quite a few of the feathers had fell out, and it was a bit lopsided. But his mum had still managed to make it work so that he would stay on his shoulder, like what pirates do. He tried on his shirt once again, and the parrot was just sat there on his left shoulder. He was talking to the parrot for a bit, in his pirate voice. "Aye, aye, Captain." He was trying to make it sound like it was all deep and scary, but Jack's voice wasn't that deep yet. He was trying to sound all rough and like a pirate. He ended up sounding more like he'd just got a bad throat or something. His mum came into his bedroom and said that she was washing the towel and it should be okay, but the next time to shout her if he had a paint disaster, and she would use one of the old towels that Dad kept in the garage. He agreed that that's what he would do. And then he jumped into bed and his mum read him a story. Halfway through the story, she said, "How did it get so messy anyway? Said Jack. I don't know. I just must have been crazy painting. Not telling her anything about the cat and the rat. That would have sounded crazy, right? The end.